Hey everyone, so today I want to do a really simple video. We've seen a lot of requests on how to get my signature look. As you may have noticed, hopefully you've been following me long enough, that my signature look changes with time, with trends, how I feel, what I'm using. So we wanted to do a video just on my signature look right now. At the moment, I'm really feeling, I like thick brows, a little bit of liner, lots of lashes. I like the skin to be super clean, super sculpted, perfect highlight. I'm really going for that very clean, but no makeup look at the same time. It is a lot of makeup, but it's all blended really well and everything looks just like really nice and natural, but still like beautiful. So I'm gonna show you guys really quickly how I do this. I've already applied my brows because that does take a little bit of time. Good brows take time and patience, and I went ahead and did them. And if you guys want to see how to do my brows, we will put a link down below. I haven't really changed the way I do my brows too much recently. The first thing I'm gonna do after I do my brows is I like to start with my eyeshadow. I really like my eyeshadow to be really clean, so I like to do it first as opposed to afterwards and having fallout and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. And this is like my favorite thing to do every single day. I love, love, love blending these two colors, henna and sandalwood. They're like my favorite go-tos. I use them all the time. So I blend them and I put them right on top of my eye, even though I don't have a primer there. I just like to do that. I feel like you don't really necessarily need to put a primer. Sometimes if you have dark circles, you can make your dark circles work for you, like eyeshadow. And that's what I like to do. My dark circles are helping me enhance my shadow. I'm using this Wayne Goss brush number 04. And his brushes are so soft. Just started using them recently. I got them on Beautylish. I really like them. They're not cheap, but they are worth every penny. So I'm just applying the powder all over. You can see I haven't completely blended it. I just like to create like a little bit of smokiness here. And this is like really great for daytime, nighttime. And I am blending it on the brow bone a little bit, but I will blend it a little bit more later on. The most important thing is to apply an even amount of eyeshadow on the base here. So next I'm just gonna do something really simple. Sometimes I go with just this look by itself and sometimes I add more to it. I am gonna add more to it right now. I'm gonna mix Angelic and Moon Dust, and I love these shades too. This is just like a really simple everyday look, and I like it because it's not over the top. And I'm just putting them on my lid. And I'm using the MAC 239 brush. This is a shorter travel version. It's really great for pressing pigment. So I am patting the product on the lid and then I'm kind of going back and forth to blend. So it's almost like very fast patting. And I'm just putting on the lid, so I'm actually shaping the lid a little bit. Not a cut crease. I'm not really too into the cut crease. I love it, but I feel like it's very over the top, so I like to keep it a little bit more natural. So this is like kind of like a soft, I guess, cut crease. So next I will go ahead and apply a liquid liner. I like to use liquid liner because it's fast and I never have any time. These are the new Louboutin liquid liners, so we're just gonna go ahead and use those. I love this liner because it's super, super black. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it on the eyeline here. So I'm gonna first start with the outer corner. I like to make it a little thick there. I do like a lot of liner. I'm just lining the eye. I'm actually not going out for the wing yet. So this liner is a little bit on the liquidy side, so you do kind of want to take your time. You don't want to make any mistakes. And the felt tip isn't that small either, so you do want to be really, really slow with application. So the felt tip is not really fine. It's not really little, so you can't really go too far into the corner, but it moves so nicely. So now I am doing the wing and I'm just kind of following my natural eyeline. And then I like a really thick wing. So I know a lot of people are kind of like into the no liner look and they do like that smoky liner, and I think that's really beautiful. But for me, because I am Middle Eastern, a lot of times our eyes tend to be a little bit rounder, and sometimes they can be really almond, they can be really round. I like to correct the roundness and make my eye look, I don't want it to look droopy, I want it to look very lifted. So that's why I like a really nice wing. But if you don't want this much of a wing, you don't have to add this much. This is my personal preference. A lot of people like to tug their eye and pull their eye. It's definitely not good to pull on your skin, especially if the skin around your eye is really thin. It can cause drooping. And I used to, and I do think that it caused a little drooping in the skin there, so I don't advise it. So I like to start from right here, the edge, and then I build the inner corner. And I like to finish with the wing so that everything looks perfect. Next, I'm just gonna apply a little mascara. This is the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I love it because the brush is awesome and it's so black. I am gonna take my favorite pair of lashes. These are the Farrah number 12 lashes. I live for these lashes. Literally, I remember when I was designing them, I was designing them really late at night at my house. and it was like 12 a.m. when I finished, and I couldn't sleep until 8 a.m. because I was like so excited about how amazing these lashes are. I really love them. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of glue, and hopefully you guys have seen this before in my video, but I like to apply as much glue as the thickness of the band. So I'm waiting for my mascara to dry and the glue to dry a little bit, but I like to apply my mascara first just in case there's any eyeshadow that fell on the lashes. I like my lashes super, super black, so if there's any shadow on it, it'll kind of mess with that. So applying the mascara, just make sure that all the shadow is covered. My lashes should be dry by now, and I just like to kind of set them, just like lay them on my lash bed and then push them into place. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe off any shadow that may have fallen onto my face. And I'm doing this like really just very gently. So I'm just applying the Smashbox primer oil all over my face. I already applied a thin layer, but I'm gonna apply one more. I like to let it sit and then apply another layer. My skin is seriously dry. So if you don't like to apply as much powder, you don't have to put as much oil. I like to apply layers of powder so my makeup will stay on all day long because I just don't have the opportunity to reapply or touch up. So I apply more oil, so this way when the powder mixes with it, it really looks like a beautiful application. So I'm gonna go ahead and use our foundation. Now this is our secret foundation that we've been working on. You can see there's nothing on the cap. It's our secret formula. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it all over my face, and I'm just using a round brush, and I'm just kind of dabbing it here. You don't actually need this much of the foundation. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it on the skin. So I'm just kind of putting it in like a little dabbing motion, but actually with this foundation, depending on the brush, you can really apply it however you want. It blends really nicely. And I'm just applying it. I like to start from the cheeks and then kind of go downward, and then also apply a small amount on the forehead. Normally what I like to do, if my dark circles look really bad, depending on when I travel, it could look really bad. I like to do the color correction before, so I'll apply a little bit of a color corrector underneath my eyes or around this area on my mouth because it tends to get dark there too. And then I apply the foundation, and then I go to concealer afterwards. So I like to do color correction, foundation, and then concealer for like perfect application. So if you want, you can use a beauty blender afterwards to blend the product, but personally I like to use brushes because I find that sponges just tend to soak up a little of the product. But it's great if you want that super natural finish because it will soak up a little bit of the product that may be excess on the skin. I do find if you use stippling brushes, it's all you need. But it really does come down to preference. Beauty blenders can be really great for creating that really natural skin finish too. So next I'm just gonna use the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer, and this is in shade number 11, and I'm just gonna apply it underneath the eyes. This is just to add a little bit of highlight. I'm gonna apply a small amount on the chin as well, just for contouring. I like to make my chin look a little bigger. If you have a bigger chin, you don't have to do this. And I'm just gonna use the same brush that I had before, and I'm going to just blend out the concealer on the chin, and then I'm moving on to the under eye. So next I'm gonna grab the CoverFX enhancer drops. These are the custom enhancer drops. I think that's what they used to say. You can see I've taken this with me all around the world, so it is pretty demolished. This is in the shade Sunset, so this is a little bit of like a contour effect to it. So I'm just gonna take a little amount. I like to shake it and then do a little bit of squirting. I'm just gonna put it on my mixing dish here. You can see just a small amount. And I'm gonna grab a brush here, and I'm just gonna slowly place it in the hollows of my cheeks. And I'm just blending upward. Applying a small amount on my forehead. So I like to do this for like my my contouring. Some people like to do powder contour. I like to do a cream contour and then set everything with powder. And you can put a small amount along the jaw as well. I just like to put like whatever's left on my brush. If you have a bigger chin, you can also put a little bit on your chin as well. I'm now just gonna set everything with powder, and I'm gonna use, this is the NARS Medium 4, the color is called Barcelona. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab just this round brush, and I'm just gonna apply it all over the skin. And I'm just basically dotting it on the contour first, because it's like a little bit of a darker color. So I'm setting the contour. And then I'm just gonna use a lighter powder. This is from Guerlain. This is the Beige Pale, and it's just a lighter color. And I'm just gonna use that underneath my eyes here. And this is basically to set the different shades of contour. I didn't apply too much powder under my eyes. Sometimes I do bake. It really depends on what my eye makeup is gonna look like. And baking is also really great to help you from creasing, but it really depends on, you know, essentially like what you're doing. If I'm going to bake, I would apply just any loose powder underneath my eye and let it sit there for a couple minutes and then just brush it off. Since this is my everyday look and I'm not going for over the top makeup, I'm not really gonna bake my eyes. I'm just pressing in a little bit of powder there, that's it. Next, I'm gonna move on to highlighting my face. I went ahead, everything is powdered up, everything's set. Before I move on to bronzer, I like to put the highlighter on. I feel like it just looks really pretty when you put it in that order. So first, I'm gonna use the Melted Strobe, and I'm gonna apply a small amount on my cheekbones here. And sometimes if I don't want too much highlight, I just kind of want like a natural glow, that will be all I'd go for. But that usually is not the case. I usually always want a lot of glow. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the normal amount. All right, and next I'm gonna use is the powder, the lighter color. This is called Seychelles in our Golden Sands. Just putting it on top. And I'm then gonna move on to the darker color. I love this as a bronzer. This is the way I always like to use it in the steps. It really depends on your mood. You don't have to use it this way. This is the way I like to apply it. And then I'm just gonna use a little bit of that Zanzibar color. And I like to use the same brush because I just feel like everything looks a little bit more blended and smooth and pretty. Before I move on to bronzer, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this Seychelles color. It's a really pretty kind of yellowy gold. And I'm just gonna put it on my eyelid to give it a little bit more of a pop. Okay, next I'm gonna use the Lorac bronzer. I like to use any bronzer I have. The Huda from Benefit is really great as well. The Victoria Beckham bronzer, really whatever bronzer is in front of me. I'm just applying it in the hollows of the cheeks, along the forehead. So I'm applying a little bit on my nose as well. I haven't contoured my nose yet. I'm going to do that now. I like to do it kind of like last. And I like to do it in powder form as well because I feel my nose is a little crooked. There's like some indents in there. So when I use powder at the end, it's just a lot smoother as opposed to cream and then powder. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that for the last step. I'm gonna use a little bit of this Marc Jacobs blush too. Just applying it on the apples of my cheeks. I like blush. Some people don't really find the use of blush. I love it. I like to kind of warm up the whole face. So I'll apply it on my forehead, on my nose too a little bit. Basically anywhere I have bronzer, I'll apply a tiny bit, like a hint of blush. I'm just gonna now finish my eyes because I've only done the top. So I'm gonna grab that same color Sandalwood, and I'm only using Sandalwood this time. And I'm just going to apply a nice amount along the bottom lid here. And I'm not doing it super neat. And for this brush, you can see it's a little bit of a stiff brush. This is the Sephora Cream Shadow. So it's got a little bit of a denseness to it, but I think it's actually great for applying shadow on the bottom. And you can see I opted for that lighter color, not the darker color. I am going to also use just a little bit of the henna, and I'm using that with this brush. This is an amazing brush from Wayne Goss. This is brush number 20. So I basically bought like a set of the Wayne Goss brushes from Beautylish. So I'm using, this is a really great brush for just kind of like smudging the outer corner here. It's kind of like really fantastic for under the eye. And then I'm just gonna blend whatever's left. Just gonna finish that off with a little bit of mascara. I'm gonna apply a little mascara on top too, just to like add a little bit more drama, because I like drama in the eyes, especially my lashes. And now I'm gonna move on to lips. So I'm gonna use the Trendsetter Lip Contour, and I have a little bit of chapstick, so I'm just rubbing it off. And I'm going to line the top of my lip first. Maybe you guys have seen I like to do like this little bit of X right here. So, and I'm just kind of correcting the lip overall. And I'm filling it in slightly, but not too much. Just to make sure that the line on the outer is not like too strong and I don't look like it's not blended. I am next just gonna use two of our new nudes. I don't know if you guys know, I love nudes. It's always been like part of like my look, my identity. I just love nudes. Like a nude lip is just like my favorite thing in the entire world. So I'm gonna use two of our new nudes. This is a Girlfriend, and this is kind of like a creamy nude. Like it's almost like a skin color, and I'm applying it all over. And I have been using a lot of this one. This is like my favorite color. And this is completely fine. You can leave it at that if you like. I am just gonna apply a tiny bit of our new color Crush, which is a really light, kind of very, very, very light corally pastel kind of nude. And I'm just applying it in the center right here and blending it out just to give me a little bit of dimension. Last, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my nose. I'm gonna use the same brush I used before, the Wayne Goss 04. I've just kind of brushed off any product that's on it. And I'm gonna mix the Sandalwood and Suede color here. I'm gonna apply a little bit of beige in there too, just to make it perfect color. And I'm just going to take it along the side of the nose now. And I'm just gonna take whatever's left on my brush too and put it on the bottom here of my lip. Also in the center here, and a little bit here too. I'm gonna take a little bit of highlighter, and I'm just gonna apply it here on my Cupid's bow. And I usually do this before my lip contour, but sometimes I do it at the end too, because I'm usually in a rush. And if you want to apply a little bit of highlight on your nose, you can. I don't usually apply it on my nose because my nose is longer and it sticks out, but if I would, it would be here, just in the center. Otherwise, you can go all the way down. And then we'll go in the inner corners of the eye too. I like it there. And this is it. This is my everyday kind of go-to look right now. It's pretty simple. It's not over the top. It's not no makeup, but it doesn't look like you're over the top, even though you may have worn layers of makeup. I think this makeup really makes you look like you are beautiful and you're not trying to be beautiful. It's just like you're naturally beautiful. And you may be wearing a little bit of makeup, which is like the look that I love to go for. So I hope you all enjoy this video. Let me know what other kind of signature things that you want to see down below. And I would love to make those videos for you. So, so please make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys comment down below, share the video, check us out on Instagram and Snapchat, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.